Hi, and welcome everybody to the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel. My name is Ross Benjamin. It is Wednesday, October the 11th, and I'm joined once again, like every Wednesday morning, by Mr. Sean Higgs, the outspoken one, and Mr. Jesse Schule, who keeps the sanity on this show together when you have to deal with two partners like he has. So, thank
We're in
God.
big trouble if that's the case, Ross.
All right, Sean, how are you, man?
All right, I just realized my vitamins are behind me.
Okay.
I love these things. Look at Nature's Made. I want a sponsorship. Is it wrong that I eat these in about a week and a half? There's 200 of them. They're so good. They're like Sour Patch Kids, except they're healthy gummies.
There you go. There you go. As opposed to other gummies that other people partake in that clouds your thinking.
I like the vitamin C gummies.
Yeah, I don't throw it. You know what? I don't throw stones at people. You got to do what you got to do. Anyway, Jesse, how are you, my friend?
You don't throw stones. You just throw insults at me. That's all you do.
I'm doing great.
I'm a master of polite insults, though. But anyway, Jesse, I'm sorry.
So Sean's big dream is to get sponsored for a product placement ad for a vitamin company. If that's the case, my big dream is I want to get sponsored by a coffee company like Tim Hortons. If Tim Hortons is listening, this product placement is available.
Here we go.
You can always put your face on a coffee cup and pass it around Las Vegas. I mean, it's always a possibility. But then again, somebody's already, came up with that idea. So anyway, a bobblehead doll, I think, for Jesse would be the best way to go, John. A bobblehead doll for Sean would be a bad idea either. So
anyway, my bobblehead would be like a watermelon on a toothpick. You'd hit it and fall over. My head on a bobblehead.
Anyway, we're discussing college football today. I'm going to be looking at Wyoming and Air Force, Jesse, Miami, and North Carolina. And Sean will be looking at the Florida Gators and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let's see if we can get the Florida Gator fans to come out of the woodwork once again. So let's get right to it. Okay, guys. We've talked about what happened last week. Let's get right to the meat and potatoes today. Jesse, Miami of Florida, coming off that debacle in which I don't know how to describe it, where there was no timeouts for Georgia Tech. Miami had the ball with less than 2 minutes to go. All they needed to do was kneel on the ball, and the game was over. And they decided to do a Joe Pisarcik and hand the ball off, fumble, and Georgia Tech, I believe, won 2 plays and 75 yards in 2 plays to win the game. Anyway, Jesse, take it away. By the way, North Carolina minus 3.5, 57.
So Ross, the question you asked, how do you describe it? And I'd say the better question is, how do you handicap it? And for me, the way I'm going to handicap it is I'm going to pretend it didn't happen, because I consider it to be anomalous. It's an anomaly, and I don't think it's going to happen this week. I don't think Miami is going to do that at the end of this game this week. If you look at it, you look at teams like Alabama. They laid an egg against South Florida. Clemson's laid an egg in a few games. Florida State against Boston College. So Miami was in the process of doing what all the top two, Texas against Wyoming, all these top tier teams have had their games where they were about to record an unimpressive victory, and Miami just managed to snatch a defeat out of the jaws of victory. And I'm not going to dwell on that. And it's going to be hard for the bookmakers to get people to put their money on the U after seeing that. That's the most recent memory in their minds. I'm going to ignore it, and I'm going to turn to what happened last year between these two teams. And before anybody says it doesn't matter what happened last year, I'm just going to point out that last week on this show, gave out a play on Louisville. I mentioned what happened last year with Sam Hartman, 3 interceptions and 3 fumbles in the game. I did qualify it and say a different coaching staff, different team, whole different scenario. But Sam Hartman this year, 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles. And this is a guy that never throws picks and fumbles the ball. So sometimes history repeats itself. By the way, Ross had a ringer on last week to give out a play on Notre
we got
Dame.
to discuss this
in
again.
Louisville.
Hit the rewind button from yesterday, and you could hear the same thing that Jesse just said. Anyway, go ahead, Jess.
Anyways, so last year in this game, the Tar Heels ended up winning at Miami by a score of 27-24. You look at the total yards, though, 538 total yards for Miami, 470 for the Tar Heels. Tyler Van Dyke throws for almost 500, 496, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Drake May, he threw for around 300 yards, a couple touchdowns, a couple picks. And I think the key to this game is the Miami Hurricanes pass rush getting to Drake May. Drake May is probably a better quarterback than Van Dyke, but Van Dyke might have superior talent around him. And the history between these two teams, I said it before, I'll say it again, history repeats itself. Tar Heels have won 4 straight meetings between these two teams. 3 of those games decided by exactly 3 points. So the hook might come into play here. Give me the 3.5. I'll take the team that nobody wants to take. Give me the U.
All right, Miami plus the 3.5 over North Carolina. You got to know that Jesse's Canadian because he told you he went through the process, not process, but process. And that's how Canadians pronounce that. We say organization, they say organization. So Mario Cristobal, Sean, he comes out in the press.
He didn't pull a Pisarcek. He pulled the Mario Cristobal because he did this a couple years ago in Oregon.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He comes out in the press this week and goes, that was totally on me. Really?
You think?
Really? Did you? Are you enlightened on anything? It certainly wasn't your quarterback calling an audible on a kneel down play. Go ahead, Sean.
Listen, Jesse's brought up James Franklin and running it up. It's one thing if you're going to cover a 19-point spread. You're not scoring 3 touchdowns to cover a 19-point spread with 30 seconds left. What are you doing? Van Dyke threw 3 interceptions. Take the ugly win and move on, which was acceptable, right? We saw it with teams. Jesse ran them down, teams that kind of, lackluster wins. You're having one, especially when you're going up against a team that's beat you 4 straight on the road. It's going to kind of be a little look-ahead spot for you. Terrible. I mean, I'm a Kane guy. That's a bad loss. That's terrible.
No.
I mean, that you cost yourself the ACC championship game because I don't think you're going to recover from that. I don't. I mean, at 3.5. I think this was opener like a 1 or a 2 when it opened and got bet up a little bit. You know me, 3.5s. I'm taking the faves. Give me the faves on 3.5 openers. I'm not buying it. That's a joke. That's to lure you in. That's a honeypot right there. Stay away. 3.5, 7.5. I'm going the opposite. Give me the heels.
All right, but the official play from Mr. Jesse Schule, who went through the process, is he's going to take the North Carolina or the Miami Hurricanes plus the 3.5 over North Carolina. Sean disagrees with him. I think we might see a high-scoring game here. Yes. I think both teams are capable of putting up plenty of points. I could see a 35-31, 38-31 type of game, especially with 2 very good quarterbacks. 2 teams have been scoring points this year. It's in terms of recovery, I will say this, that Jesse makes a good point in terms of forgetting it because it's not like the team themselves lost the game. And the bottom line is other teams like Texas, and he alluded to a couple other top-ranked teams that were in a dogfight against teams they should have blown out and escaped with a win. This team didn't, but it was by the coach's accord, not their own, in my estimation. So I do think that there's a better chance that Miami will recover from this based on that fact alone, as opposed to them blowing the 2-touchdown lead in the last couple minutes against Georgia Tech. And again, it was a flat spot. The problem is, and again, I don't know this for a fact, but in the day and age in college football where style points means a lot in terms of rankings and what might happen at the end of the year, maybe he had this absurd thought in his head that he needed more style points because he was only winning the game by 4 as a 22.5-point favorite. I don't know. Remember, Georgia Tech is the same team that got knocked off by Bowling Green as a 3-touchdown favorite a couple weeks ago. So in any event, it was surely a bad decision, but the official pick here is Jesse Schule likes Miami plus the 3.5 over North Carolina. Sean disagrees with it as an opinion, and I like the over as an opinion in this game, and it's over 57. All right, Sean, let's get to you. Florida and South Carolina, two teams that are probably are not going to win the SEC title, although South Carolina will say they still have a chance. But the Gamecocks minus 2.5 and 51.5. Game being played in Columbia, South Carolina. What do you got for us, Sean?
I know. Oh, the Gators.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come out here and chomp away. I think it's going to be South Carolina. Rattler's going to sting you. You're going to get bitten. South Carolina money line for me here. Sorry, Gator guys. Billy Napier, they dropped 7-8 on the road. You know, they're not a good road team. We saw them in Utah. Not good. Who else? Kentucky? How about that performance in Kentucky? So, I mean, I think we talked about that, right? I think Jesse had Kentucky in that game, I believe. I mean, not a good team. Bad on the road. It's a young squad. Why am I not taking South Carolina here? They put up points. It's a simple for me. It's just fading Florida on the road. They are not good. They do not score points for whatever reason. They can't score points. You need, my buddy Scoopy say, can't win if you can't score. You're right, Jer. His name's Jeremy. You can't win if you can't score. And they don't score. They're not winning. No. Carolina money line. That's it. No deep analysis. Gators, they stink. Simple. Don't be fooled by that one.
All right.
The time
Sean,
we played on them was perfect. It was against Tennessee. Everybody rid them off. Oh, they're terrible. That was their home. No problem. Not here. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, that was my underdog game of the month on my premium side too.
Easy.
I don't think
McNeese
you didn't
State,
have Kentucky,
Charlotte, and Vanderbilt.
You didn't.
I had that game. I like Kentucky.
Yeah, I had that game last week.
That's what Sean's thinking of. I like Kentucky this week.
Okay.
Coming off the loss to Georgia.
No, I had the Georgia-Kentucky game last week, and I took Georgia because I thought everybody was, Georgia's not that good.
I thought maybe I had the Florida-Kentucky game. Maybe it was music. I don't know. You know what? I think I said take the under in that game.
Yeah.
And I didn't end up winning. So there's that. Can't always win. I'm winning this one now.
Yeah, God forbid you accuse Jesse of having a loser when he didn't, buddy.
Yeah.
You see his horns went up. Anyway.
We're bringing another guy on to pick the opposite side. I like that, actually. I think that's actually my theme I'm going with on my own channel is pick against me. I dare you kind of thing. That's my thing, actually.
Not bad. Not a bad idea. What's your take on Florida and South Carolina, Jess?
Oh, man. I think back to our first show for the season and Utah and Florida and the comment section and the guys ripping us about how do you think Utah can't compete with the likes of Florida? What do they got to say for themselves now? Like Sean said, Florida can't win a road game. I'm with Sean.
No pressure on quarterbacks on the road.
And I've said it before. I'll say it again. Not a fan of Spencer Rattler because of his hairdo and his attitude. But I'll take the Gamecocks in this one.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the fact that, I look at the quarterback situation in the game that's a virtual pick 'em because it is 2.5 for South Carolina. But if the game was in Gainesville, it would be the other way around. It would be most likely Florida would be a 1.5 point favorite or so. And I'm going to take the better quarterback. I agree with Sean. Spencer Rattler, I'll take any day of the week right now as compared to Graham Mertz. And again, it's a lean on my part at this particular moment in time. But our official pick here is South Carolina minus the 2.5. Or excuse me, South Carolina minus 130 on the money line. Big difference, folks. I know a lot of you out there, what's the difference? What's the chance of it landing on 1 or 2? Well, to lay an extra 20 cents in case it does is smart. Sorry. Okay, I don't care what school of thought you have. I've been doing this a long time. We've been doing this a long time. Yes, there's a possibility it will land on 1 or 2. Is it highly probable? No. But why not cover yourself? And at the end of the day, folks, there's a saying that's never going to change in sports betting. The juice only counts when you lose. So cover yourself. in any event, I'm going to look at my game, which is Wyoming and Air Force. And not a lot of people out there probably going, Wyoming and Air Force, you guys couldn't do a better game than this. Well, Wyoming's 5-1 right now, coming off an upset win over then number 24 Fresno. Air Force 5-0 out of the gate. Wyoming's definitely faced a stronger strength of schedule, but let me get to the particulars here. Again, I just mentioned that 24-19 upset win over then number 24 Fresno State. They did so as a 5-point home underdog. That was last Saturday, and now they face. They're looking at facing an Air Force team that's coming off a bye week, so they're rested. They're 5-0. They're playing at home, and they're also playing with revenge after losing last year at Wyoming 17-14. And when you look inside the numbers, yes, Air Force runs the ball, and they run the ball very well. But they play a little defense too, and some of that impressive defensive statistics they have right now can be attributed to how good their running game is and their time of possession, which is 35 minutes and 44 seconds a game. As a result, their defense has only allowed 12.2 points per game. Yet, here's the thing, okay? That could be a deceiving number because of their time of possession. But I look at the yards per play that the Air Force defense has given up so far. They're only allowing 4.3 yards per play, which is extremely low by college football standards, even NFL standards for that reason, for that matter, I should say. Their last three games, Air Force, 39-21 over Utah State, 45-20 at San Jose State, and then their previous game 2 weeks ago, 49-10 home blowout win over San Diego State. In those three wins, zero turnovers. So they don't beat themselves. They run the ball effectively, and they only average 4 passes per game, guys, but they're averaging 75% completion rate. And more importantly, because they catch teams napping in the secondary and cheating to stop the run, they're averaging 21.6 yards per pass attempt. So they're very efficient in everything they do. And I just think Wyoming coming off that upset win with no rest compared to a team coming up off a blowout win against San Diego State, red hot right now, playing at home, and off a week of rest. I'm going to go with Air Force here, minus 10.5 over Wyoming. Jesse?
I like it, Ross. If I'm back in Wyoming, I'm doing it when they're at home. I'm not doing it when they're on the road. And it does look like a bit of a letdown spot coming off that upset over Fresno State. You got a rested team coming off a bye. All those pieces are fitting together quite nicely.
The process, buddy. I go through the process just like yourself. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty good process you got going on there.
There you go, boy. Anyway, you know I'm teasing you, Jesse. I love the way Canadians pronounce stuff.
I still don't even remember saying process or any such thing.
Okay, Sean?
You know, like, I'm kind of torn on this one with my thoughts, right? Because Wyoming's off the big win, Air Force bye week, but they have Navy on deck. So it's like, man, are they going to just run it up here, or is it going to be close? I want to take the under 42, right? What is it, 40? 2 running teams?
Yeah, it's down to 42.5, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
it
opened
first teams. I mean, why wouldn't this play into like a 20-6 kind of ugly game? Yeah. I don't know. I got no. I would lean under for myself, I guess.
The other deceiving thing, guys, is you look at this Wyoming team. Yeah, they're 5-1, but they're getting outgained by like 20 yards per game. Where Air Force is 5-0, and they're outgaining people by over 200 yards per game. So I look at stuff like that because it could be a deceiving 5-1. Look, Fresno State's a good team, right? They were in the top 25, but they were in the top 25 based on they beat a couple Power 5 teams. But who did they beat? They beat Purdue, who's going to be lucky to have a winning year this year, if And it's highly unlikely that's going to happen based on their schedule coming up. And they beat, I believe, Arizona, possibly, or Arizona State, one of the two. Yeah. So they were
favored
an overrated.
Against Arizona State. They were a dog to a Mountain West team, you know.
Yeah, and Arizona State's probably, other than Stanford, the worst team in the Pac-12. So again, not making light of Fresno State's accomplishments, but I wouldn't also be too caught up with that upset win last week because I think it was an overrated team. So we'll see what happens. So repeating again, Jesse has Miami of Florida plus the 3.5 at North Carolina. Sean likes the South Carolina Gamecocks on the money line at minus 130 against Florida. And I like the Air Force Falcons minus the 10.5 at home against Wyoming. Those are our 3 official picks. All 3 games go on Saturday. Folks, don't forget our live show with us 3 on Friday, that new time slot, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Accommodate you people on the West Coast as well. Join us live. And if you have any comments, questions, whatever you want to run us by, we'll get to as many of those as possible, time permitting. And we highly encourage you to join us for that show. And last week we had our highest viewing audience yet, and hopefully that continues to grow in that regard. So we look forward to that. Don't forget, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, take a second to do so. It costs absolutely nothing. There's no hidden agenda. There's no strings attached. And if you're on your PC, that WC logo beneath you, just on that, that'll get you subscribed. If you're on your mobile device, hit the black subscribe button. And also, if you're on your smart TV, similar to what you see on your mobile device, there'll be a black subscribe button underneath. And you're all set to go. And then I'm going to ask you to do just one step further. If you've already subscribed and you haven't done this, you should do it as well. Once you subscribe, go into your YouTube settings and click on that alert notification bell for the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, and you'll be notified immediately upon any of our podcasts going up on our great channel here, which we're very appreciative of all of the subscribers we have. And thank you, all of us, from all of us, I should say, for the comments, questions, nice things you say, and sometimes not so nice, but we handle it. We got broad shoulders, all 3 of us. In any event, Jesse, tell the folks why they should be buying something from you over at gamblersworld.net. By the way, folks, Gamblers World is our sponsor. Gamblersworld.net is where you'll find all 3 of us and 7 other great handicappers where we guarantee all our picks, which means all our single game, multi-game daily packages, and also subscription plans of 30 days or less. You must win. You must make a profit, or your account will be credited the exact amount of your purchase price. Jesse, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but go ahead. Tell the folks what you got going on.
Yeah, so I lost with Texas in the Red River game. Now 12-1 with sides since January 1st of 2023. And I've had some people on Twitter say, well, why do you play totals? Your totals suck. Well, I looked at my totals, and since 2016, 59% with college football totals since 2016. That's 59% with totals. I don't know if people really understand how good that is, but obviously hitting with a high percentage with totals is better than hitting at a high percentage with sides because you rarely have to pay any juice for totals. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep on playing totals. I've got some totals posted now, and I might add some more. And I expect to do well with the totals. And I think if you know what you're doing, you probably want to follow me this weekend. I got a full card up at gamblersworld.net. And yeah, you'll be happy if you do.
Yeah, 59%. For those of you out there who don't think that's very good, stop and do the math. On every 100 picks, you're winning 59 and you're losing 41, and you're paying juice of 10 cents on every 41 of those losers. So you're somewhere up around just a shade under $1,400. So if you're doing better than that and you can do that on your own, you're probably not watching this channel. Anyway, Sean, tell the folks what you got going on.
Nothing. I just checked. Somebody texted me. Somebody wrote a comment that I'm not very salesman like in my sales pitch to buy myself here. That I'm very mundane, like I'm on a base salary here. So I got to think of something. I want to do a little crazy kind of. I want to do it on the live show because I don't want Seth to edit it out here on the video. So when it's live, I'll act like I'll be the silly guy. But for now, I'm just gonna be like, whatever. I got college and NFL football, but Friday tune in because when it comes time to sell myself, it's gonna be straight out of two for the money. It'll be funny. I'm not saying anything about you should buy me because it's Locktober and it's all this great stuff.
Listen, here's the difference between us when we sell ourselves on this channel and what you saw in the 90s. A lot of these guys in the 90s, whether it be USA Today ads or their own TV shows or on radio, were yelling and screaming and giving you all these records, and none of them could be verified. Okay? So when people tell me you promote like you're doing shows in the 90s, I laugh because all of my records, the records of everybody on the channel, are all documented, not only at our site at gamblersworld.net, but every other site that we're on. So, yeah, it's business 101, folks. Okay? Yeah, we love giving you the free picks here. We love trying to educate you on being a better sports bettor or smarter sports bettor today than yesterday. But at the same time, this is our livelihood, okay? Not only we bet on our own games, but they say, well, if you're so good betting on your own games, then why do you even try selling picks? Quite simple. It's business 101. If we're good betting on games and people buy our bets, our picks, we make them money. We make additional money. Our bankroll goes up, and I don't know. Is there an economics class here that we need to go over? In any event, Sean sometimes is one of those guys that he's aware of what went on in the past and the precedents that have been set before him, and he sort of goes the opposite way. So that's why I'm here. That's why Jesse's here. You heard Jesse tell everybody how well Sean did in the NFL since November of 2021. Yeah. If some guys aren't comfortable doing that, and that's okay.
Like we always talk about, like when we talk about runs, I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I just kind of want to go about it.
Yeah.
Good, bad, indifference. I move on. I don't know.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about my runs. Jesse, the same thing. Now
we're all different. I get it.
Yes, that's what makes it good.
I feel like I got to just
part of my responsibility of running gamblersworld.net in this show
sales. I get it.
Is to make sure that everybody on the show and all the handicappers there have equal opportunity. Now, if somebody lacks in a certain area, we're not all perfect. We all have our flaws. We try to pick each other up. Okay. We're also transparent. So I've been telling you how much of a run I've been on since August the 4th. Okay. 47-25, all sports since September the 12th. 91-58 since August the 4th. Jesse just mentioned that 59% on totals since 2016. Within a 59% run, you're going to have some bad runs. Okay, that's just goes with the territory. I'm going to be transparent. I've been red hot, but since Saturday, I've gone 4-9 with my premium picks. Okay, there you have it. I'm transparent. For those of you who have been following me, know that you made a ton of money over the last 2 months. It's 4-9. It's just a slight roadblock, bump in the road, whatever phrase you want to use. Still 20-6 with my football plays. Since September 14th, 43-19 since December the 2nd. By the way, Sean Higgs, last year, 64% in the NFL with 207 picks. 2 weeks ago, he went 8-1 in the NFL on a Sunday. Follow him at gamblersworld.net. Invest some money in him because he may not be shouting out and bragging, but, we'll do that for him. There's a like button underneath, which Jesse will always tell you what he wants you to do with the like button for our channel.
Smash that like button.
And emphatic smash that like button, just a small token of your appreciation for all the work, time, and effort that we put in to bringing you a quality product and making you a smarter sports better today than yesterday. Don't forget our live show, which will be Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time right here on this channel with Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs and myself. Tomorrow I will return with Doug Upstone and Kyle Hunter, and I'll let Kyle know that he lost the game against Jesse, and Jesse's been talking about it all week. But in any event, until then, folks, for Jesse Schule, Sean Higgs, and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.